everyone. My name is Dr. LaToya Wiggins, and I am so excited to be here at the Black Health and Wellness Summit. As a self-care strategist, a wellness coach, and a physical therapist, health and wellness is my favorite subject to talk about. So a little bit about me. I teach Christian moms how to transition from worn out to winning, and I teach them self-care strategies and biblical principles that help them to feel nourished, renewed, and rejuvenated, help them to prioritize peace over self-pity. And that is why I'm here today, to help all of my beautiful Black people here today. The same message I teach to my moms is the same message that you will benefit from also. It is critical that we take great care of ourselves, prioritizing self-care, which is not just a buzzword, but a necessity. So I am going to go ahead and bring up my slides, all right? So we are transitioning from worn out to winning today. So right now in the chat, you can scream it out loud wherever you are. I am ready to win in every area of my life. Let me see it in the chat, y'all. I am ready to transition from worn out to winning. Let me see it. You can win in every area of your life. You hear me? But you will only win in every area of your life if you are nourishing yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, which is what I define as self-care. Self-care is not just about pampering yourself, getting your hair done and your nails done. Those things are great. But what are you doing each and every day to pour back into yourself? This is so important. Self-care, again, is not just a buzzword, but something that we need to do each and every day and throughout the day. Because Black people, we are suffering out here. Higher rates of depression are seen in Black men at 4% compared to white people at 3%. Black people in general are suffering 20% more than white people with issues such as depression and anxiety. They're seen more prevalent in women than men. And then when you add race to the mix, Black women, we are suffering more than white women. The rate of suicide in the Black community is increasing at a rate that has surpassed previous generations or decades. And Black people, we are experiencing persistent emotional distress more than white people. Feelings of sadness, hopelessness, even feelings that we have to dedicate extra effort to do everything we do. And you know, it goes back to generations. We need to create generational health for ourselves because we are so used to living in a slave mentality, but we're not enslaved. It is time for us to take care, be intentional about taking great care of ourselves. There's so many resources out here for us. No matter what your socioeconomic status is, it is time to do those things that is going to help us win in every area of our lives, in family and business, ministry, whatever it is that God has called you to be, called you to do. If you nourish yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, you will be able to combat depression, anxiety, the many things that stress you out. You'll be able to take better care of your body, which also helps you to take better care of your mental health. So that is why I believe that self-care is non-negotiable, or you will burn out. When self-care is neglected, you get those many different issues I already discussed, the depression, the anxiety, consistent stress is going to worsen or increase your susceptibility to the things that you see in our community, the high blood pressure, the diabetes, the obesity, and many other health problems, lack of focus, motivation, the restlessness, stomach upset, aches and pains, headaches, irritability, impatience, overwhelm, sadness, low energy. And again, that's why it's so important for you to be here today at the Black Health and Wellness Summit. So you can learn strategies to transition from worn out to winning. And today I'm going to teach you how to do that. You're going to create your own winning self-care manual, a guide that you can use to refer back to each and every day to move you forward and not backwards in your health journey. Okay? So if you are ready, again, type in the chat, I am ready to win in every area of my life. I am ready to transition from worn out to winning. So before I teach you how to develop your own winning self-care manual, I want to tell you about my own health and wellness journey. So back in February 2021, I had my third son. So as you see the picture that says my parents did not practice social distancing in 2021. Here's a picture of my beautiful family, which needs to be updated because everyone is now 2 years older. But back when I had my youngest son, I had him in the middle of the pandemic, and I had a really hard time just figuring out how to feel like myself again, how to cater to all three kids, make sure the older kids were adjusting well to being a big brother and having another child in the home, nurturing my marriage, getting back to working on my business, which I started putting more work into during the pandemic before I became pregnant. But it was not working. I was struggling. I felt like I was drowning. Each and every day that I woke up, I dreaded the day as soon as my eyes opened because I was already anticipating the stress, the confusion of me just trying to figure things out. Of course, I had an infant, so I was lacking sleep. I wasn't taking great care of my body. I was always low on energy. And I just felt sad. I could not figure out what to do to feel joyful again. And I had already started, prior to 2021, I already started my journey into self-care coaching. So I'm thinking in my head, I know what to do. I help other people do this. But what was wrong with me? I just could not get it together. Each and every day, I found myself just walking around grumpy, irritated, feeling frustrated, feeling like a ticking time bomb just waiting to explode at any moment. And I remember one day, I went downstairs and I saw a mess everywhere, crumbs everywhere, toys everywhere. And that ticking time bomb did explode. I remember just walking around. We have an open floor area. I was just walking around, just picking up everything, throwing it here, throwing it there. There's a term called rage cleaning, and that's exactly what I was doing. I was rage cleaning, walking around and just mumbling under my breath at times. Sometimes I'm speaking out loud, letting everyone know how angry I was, not saying not so kind words to these people who I love the most, saying not so nice things to the people I love the most. What kind of mom is that? What kind of wife is that? And me thinking this just overwhelmed me even more. And I felt like I needed another type of release. I remember running upstairs to my bedroom. I sat on the floor and just started to cry. I was asking God, what is wrong with me? Please help me. I just could not get it together. And I was so sick and tired of feeling sad, hopeless. I was so tired of being impatient with my family, fussing and yelling at them unnecessarily. So as I sat there and I cried my heart out, I told myself, LaToya, it is time to get it together. It is time to get the help that you need. So as much as I didn't feel like adding another thing to my to-do list, It was time to start seeing a mental health therapist. It was also time for me to start spending more time with God. I already felt like I was slacking in that area. And I knew that ultimately he was the only one who would heal me, who could heal me. Sitting at his feet would lead me and guide me to know what to do to heal myself. So it was a day by day, month by month process. But I started seeing the mental health therapist, spending more time at God's feet. I found myself starting to have more joy. The therapist told me that I had depression and anxiety. I already figured I was depressed, but I had no idea that I had anxiety. But it all made sense. I was always worried about something, worried at failing as a mom, worried about the day before it even started, right? So, as if the mental health therapist helped me to figure out what self care looked like in this season of my life, not the season before, but this season with 3 kids. And at that time, that season with having a newborn, navigating just that time in the pandemic of not socializing well. I was able to start figuring out ways to socialize safely and stop isolating myself, which I was actually doing on purpose because I had no energy to be around people. So I found myself starting to socialize more, safely. I started taking better care of my body, exercising more, which I actually do enjoy, but I was slacking in. I found myself wanting to be more patient, being more intentional about practicing patience, peacefulness, calmness, even when I felt like I was in the middle of chaos. And strengthening my relationship with God helped me to be more intentional about how I react to my family, how I react to my own flaws, those things that I know I need to fix. And I'm not a perfect woman. I wasn't back then. I'm still not a perfect woman. But the more and more that I am intentional about making healthy choices, physically, mentally, and spiritually, I find myself doing things that I know God is proud of. And I want you to figure out what winning means to you. Winning for me is walking in my purpose, walking as the woman God called me to be. So I am here today to help you to figure out what winning means to you so you can walk in your God-given purpose in whatever area that He has called you to serve in, to heal what needs to be healed, take better care of yourself so you can actually serve others from that overflow and not giving them what's left of you. It's time to get out your paper and pen so you can develop your own winning self-care manual and nourish yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. When you take great care of yourself, you are setting an example to your family, whether you have children, a spouse, a significant other, your friends, your community. You set an example. So as Black people, we need to lead by example, create generational health, create a legacy of good health for ourselves. Get rid of those old limiting beliefs, those old unhealthy habits, and start walking in our greatness so we can win in every area of our lives. So you are going to create your own winning self-care manual. You're going to do that by using my PEACE peace framework, because that's what we are trying to do, create more peace in our lives, prioritize the peace over misery, over pity, create more love and joy in our lives so we can shine bright in every area of our lives, business, ministry, family, and more. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your cup and pour from the overflow. Eleanor Brown says that rest and self-care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve from the overflow. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. So let's go ahead and transition from worn out to winning using my peace framework. So the P in the peace framework stands for permission to say yes to yourself. What are you saying yes to? Yes to whatever it is that is going to bring you more peace and joy and healing in your life. Just know that when you start saying yes to yourself, you are going to have to start saying no to those things that no longer serve you. They may be people, there may be things, they may be your own unhealthy habits. It is time to get rid of these unhealthy habits, these unhealthy belief systems that are depressing you, that are stressing you out, that is causing you to feel like you are not enough, that's causing you to feel low on energy, that's causing these illnesses in your body. So say yes to good health, good mental health, good physical health, good emotional health, good financial health. Say yes to anything that is going to bring less stress to you, but more happiness, more joy, better health, better energy, more love into your life. And say no to those things that you know deplete you, those things that you know you don't want to do anyway, but you might feel obligated to do them. If they're not serving you, if they're not serving a purpose in your life, it's time to start saying no. And it is okay to say no with an exclamation mark. No explanation is needed to do what is best for you, to do what is best for your family. But remember, even when you're talking about your family, you do not put yourself last. Remember that you are just as important as all those people who you love, okay? If you are in the hospital, the mental institution, or worse, in the grave, you can't take care of your family then. So it is good to remember that you are just as important as those people you love. So take care of yourself. Do those things that are going to allow you to give the best of yourself into everything that you do and not what's left of you. So next, the E in the peace framework stands for evaluate your current self-care routine. Now, if you're saying, LaToya, I don't have a self-care routine, well, that's exactly why you need to be here today so you can start creating one. So when you're thinking about your current self-care routine, whether you have one or not, you want to think about what's going well and what's not going well. You want to know what's going well because if it ain't broke, you know the saying, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So think about those things that you already know gives you energy, that makes you feel good, that makes you have more mental energy, more physical energy, that brings you peace and happiness and joy when you do those activities. Write those things down, okay? Write down a list of those things. Maybe there are things that you're already doing and you want to keep doing them. Maybe you want to do more of it. You know, maybe you're doing them, but not as often as you would like. Maybe there are some things that you haven't done in a long time. Maybe just life started life got busy and you forgot all about them. Write those things down if there's still something you're interested in doing. Maybe it was a certain routine, a certain activity, a certain exercise, whatever it is, maybe craft a club, a book, you maybe like to read, whatever it is that you know you already enjoy, write those things down so we can make more time for them. And now you want to figure out, well, what's not going so well. So we know what to start fixing. Maybe what's causing you to be unhappy is maybe you're not getting enough sleep at night. Maybe you're not putting healthy, nutritious foods into your body. Maybe you're not taking time to actually take breaks throughout the day, each and every day. Even if you're a busy mom like me, maybe you're just not finding the time to have some alone time or do something fun that you actually enjoy with the kids instead of just doing what they want to do all the time. It's okay to sacrifice sometimes, but not sacrifice your overall well-being. You have to make time to do things that you enjoy too. Maybe you are at a job that you cannot stand at all. Maybe you're just doing too much. Maybe you're not asking for help. Maybe you're not accepting help. Maybe there are things that you actually do want to do, but you're doing too much at one time. Maybe there are old limiting beliefs. It's the way you grew up. This is the only way you know. Or maybe comparing yourself to the next woman or man because it's working so well for them, or it looks like it's working for them. Well, you are your own individual. So it's now time to figure out what works for you and your situations, your family, your work life balance and harmony. That's what we need to create for you. What's going to work for you to bring you peace and joy? All right. So write those things down. Okay. So now we're going to move to the A in the peace framework. You're going to assess areas for action and abundance. So you already figured out, or thought about what are some things you want to give yourself permission to say yes to? What's working and what's not working? Now, where do I need to start taking action? Do I need to take more action for my mental health? Maybe I need to start figuring out ways to distress, ways to energize myself mentally, to get more rest, to do things that are relaxing, mentally energizing, that just makes me feel good when I do it, even if it's absolutely nothing. Maybe it's time for you to see a mental health therapist, a counselor of some kind. Maybe it's time to let go of some unhealthy friendships or relationships or whatever's causing you some stress. Maybe it's time to nourish your physical body more. Stop eating the junk. Stop eating too much soul food. It's time to start putting more healthy, nutritious foods, getting your healthy veggies, your green leafy veggies, your whole grains, your lean meats, your healthy fats. Maybe you need to get more movement, start exercising more, just moving your body a little bit more each and every day. It not only helps to take good care of your physical body, but it actually affects your mental health as well. Get those healthy hormones pumping, those endorphins, those dopamine levels, increase those bad boys. Maybe it's time to improve your spiritual health. Maybe it's time for you to spend more time with God. Find time to actually sit still instead of praying and going away on about your business without actually sitting still and taking in what he is trying to tell you. Give you clarity on what you should be focusing on instead of just trying to do all the things that he didn't even ask you to do in the first place. Maybe time management is an issue, and it's time to assess different time management strategies to keep you focused, to help you to be more productive and not just busy getting nothing done because you're doing too much stuff. So prioritizing what's most important to work on in this season of your life, figuring out what's best to focus on today instead of trying to do everything at this moment if it is not urgent. What areas do you need to start taking more action in so you can have more peace and joy in your life and minimize the stress, get rid of the depression and anxiety, get yourself back to a healthy weight or lower your blood pressure, lower the cholesterol levels, whatever that is in unhealthy levels. And now we're moving on to the C in the peace framework. And the C stands for cancel feelings of guilt, negative thoughts, and self-sabotage. So a lot of times when we start doing great things for ourselves, we start saying no to people and certain activities so we can pour more time into taking good care of ourselves. The guilt creeps in, the negative thoughts come about. Always remember your why. Why am I doing these great things for myself? Why am I saying no to these certain activities? Why am I saying no to my kids right now? Why am I saying no to my spouse right now? Or whoever it is. Who is going to benefit from me saying no in this moment? And who's going to benefit from me taking great care of myself? Am I going to show up better as a mom or dad? For my fellows who are listening, am I going to show up better as a wife or a girlfriend, as a friend, as a daughter, a mother, a boss, a CEO, an employee? How am I going to show up if I take this break right now? How am I going to show up if I take these things off my to-do list to focus more on these things that are more important? These things are going to actually pour into me, allow me to walk in my purpose. And when you remind yourself of who's going to benefit when it's not just you, because self-care is not selfish, it will help to diminish the guilt. It may come back. You may not always get rid of the guilt, but reminding yourself of your why, it helps to acknowledge the guilt, acknowledge the thought, and then dismiss it so you can continue to take great care of yourself. And now the final letter in the peace framework is execute your new winning self-care manual. So anytime you begin a new routine, you're trying to gain new healthy habits. It's usually going to be hard, but that's why I'm here to encourage you to start small. Make small measurable goals that's going to lead to bigger results. For example, if you are on a health and fitness journey and you have never been in the gym before, or it's been a long time, you don't have to try to start going back to the gym or go to the gym for your first time 5 days a week or every single day or for a full hour. You can start small with twice a week, maybe just 10 minutes, just 15 minutes, whatever it is that you can go as low as you need to be consistent with that time, that duration, the frequency, and then increase. Okay. When you try to go hard to go home, a lot of times you might end up going home, meaning you give up on what you were doing because it seems so hard to do. You can't stay consistent. So don't be afraid to start small wherever you are, whatever you are working on. Eating healthy, maybe start with one healthy meal a day or a healthy meal 3 times a week versus 7 if you're not used to eating healthy. Take it day by day. And don't let anybody shame you, make you feel like you have to do more. You can start with 15 minutes of quiet time, 5 minutes if you need to as a busy mom or a busy parent, hiding out in the bathroom, hiding out in the closet, whatever you need to do, getting your car therapy. So be creative also. Don't be afraid to be creative, to figure out what works for you, not the next person, but what works for you and makes you more productive, makes you have more peace in your routines and gaining these healthy habits. Next, you want to connect with the experts. Connect with whoever it is who can support you, guide you, hold you accountable. Maybe it's time to connect with your physician, a fitness instructor, a mental health therapist, a self-care coach, a wellness coach, a nutritionist, a financial planner if you're having money problems, your community resources, any of the experts who can push you further and faster. When I say faster, we're starting small and slow, but with guidance from experts, you can get to your goals sooner rather than later because you have people who know what you should work on or can help you figure that out better instead of you trying to do it all on your own. Ask for help, accept the help, and connect with community in general. So connect with other people who are working on similar goals as you are. If you're trying to lose weight or just work out more, connect with people who are already doing that, who are serious about taking better care of their body. Support may not come from your own spouse or your own friends. You may have to seek people outside of the home. Seek support online, on Facebook. If you're a mom, connect with other moms who can relate to you. If you're a wife, connect with other wives who can relate to you. Whatever it is, connect with people who are working on similar goals as you, who will keep you accountable, who will give you a loving kick in the butt when they see you falling off track on whatever goals you're working on. And I don't want to leave you hanging. So go to bit.ly, She is a Nourished Mom workbook, or you can go to my website, sheisanourishedmom.com, and get your free Busy Christian Mom Self-Care Workbook. Even if you're not a Christian, even if you're not a mom, even if you're not a woman, this is a good guide to help you get started. Just use whatever that applies to you and start transitioning from worn out to winning. All right. Stay connected with me. I have a podcast on self-care, motherhood, and faith. I am She's a Nourished Mom on all major platforms. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Remember that a nourished woman is a winning woman. A nourished man is a winning man. I want you all to win in every area of your life. And it is time to transition from worn out to winning and leave a legacy of good Black mental health, physical health, and wellness. Bye-bye.